Hey everybody, Drew here for Drew Entertainment, back with another video, second of the day on the channel, as I said I would in the reaction video that I just did and just uploaded, which is up on the channel right now, of me reacting to Dax featuring Tom McDonald Propaganda. And I gave my 25 cents, I guess you could put it, on the topic they were going through. God, I have a huge zit on my nose. Anyway, at least it looks like that from the fucking light. Anyway, with that being said, since I'm turning into Rudolph now, joining me for this episode of Breaking Rocks, I'm not going to go over what number it is because there's no outline written or script written. We're just going to shoot from the hip like we did last time around. Joining me is my younger brother, Desert Nord. Hey, bro. Bro? Are you alive? Oh, fuck. My controller turned off. Let's try that again. Hey, bro.
Yeah, it cut out, didn't it?
Yeah, my controller turned off, and I thought you died, but I died.
Yeah, my situation is not going to turn off because I'm actively using it.
Anyway, joining me, as I said, you guys heard, he didn't. My younger brother, Desert Nord. Hey, bro.
Yeah, hey there.
Yeah. Sometimes tech issues happen all the time. Like, case in point, recently on Twitch for me, the camera didn't work for a stream of playing Elder Scrolls Online with this guy.
Yep, that was interesting to begin with. Ended okay, I suppose.
Yeah, especially when I did a tease for the next stream that I started doing, which is playing through Halo the Master Chief Collection, starting with Halo Combat Evolved, which I am doing on there currently. I did just do a stream just like I ended like barely an hour ago of continuing through Fable 1, The Lost Chapters, which is on Twitch and has also been ported. That particular stream has been ported over to YouTube already to Drew Games. So if you guys are gamers watching this, go to Drew Games on YouTube, check that out. But I prefer if you guys go to Drew Games, DREWDATGAMESS, all lowercase, over on Twitch, and follow that channel, so God forbid people actually watch live and actually interact with me in the live chat for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Which apparently that is a struggle for people to either care to do or want to do, is to actually watch my shit on Twitch. So, with all of that said and out of the way, what are we here to talk about? The hypocriticalness of the NFL, which we all know is the case. Woke Major League Baseball screwing over Minnesotans and other Americans by sending jobs over to China. And we'll get into that. You want to talk about Nicki Minaj?
Well, no, but I do want to go over the situation.
We're going to go over that either way. We're going to go over some of my favorite songs from Tom McDonald's 2 albums, which came out about 2 weeks ago now. And also, we're going to finish up by watching, well, you and I will be seeing it. Desert Nord will hopefully be hearing it. God help us if that works. But a music video by Dax called Dear God, which is very relevant today with how I'm kind of feeling about where things are going in our country right now in the United States. And basically every word in that song is very powerful and fits so perfectly with right now. So, at least as far as I'm concerned, as a Christian anyway. and you guys will understand when you hear it. If you if those of you watching haven't, then I'm happy to react to it with you. If you guys have seen it, then you guys will know what I'm talking about. But with all of that said, the NFL, Bill Burr recently criticized the NFL for basically the Black National Anthem and supporting Black Lives Matter. Yet most of the league's players are black, and they removed a preseason game, adding it to the regular season, therefore extending basically the risk of injury for the mostly black league in the NFL and their health and whatnot in regards to concussion, despite the fact that the NFL claims that they care about concussions and are worried about it. Not really, apparently.
Yeah, it's really interesting to watch them say to themselves, "Oh no, we can't drop a preseason game. We can't lose the ad revenue, even though the players aren't being paid any more than they would otherwise. Uh, you know, for the same, even if they dropped an entire game out of the season, players are paid exactly the same amount. So this has no positive effect on players whatsoever, in any financial regard, and it
Yeah.
surely has no positive effects on players in the physical regard, as you were just saying. But the lost game, if it was lost, would affect the league's revenue. That's why they cared.
Well, the regular season isn't losing a game, they're adding one, but they're
No, no,
removing
no.
it from the preseason, though.
Yeah, I know. But you see, it's still a viewership thing. It's a revenue thing. This is a
Yeah.
revenue move.
But in doing it,
If they were to just say, we're going to get rid of the preseason game and we're not going to move it to the regular season, then they would lose revenue,
yeah.
and they don't want to do that.
But there's also a lot to unpack here. It's it's extending the regular season, therefore making players have to play another game,
Yeah,
which if you kept it in the preseason, the star players wouldn't necessarily have to play the whole time.
yeah. Well,
Therefore, they'd be
yeah,
safer
it would
for it.
depend.
And
The star player guys don't play every game of the year as it is, especially if they've already made the playoffs. Oftentimes, the last one or two games of the year don't even
yeah,
include those
that's
guys.
true. But also, there's another side that isn't considered. The undrafted and late draft pick players or drafted players getting playing time in the preseason. That's one less game for undrafted players, for example, like Kurt Warner at the time,
Yeah,
to try to make an NFL team.
yeah. It's a very draft biased um, thing to do, and it's also completely about money.
Yeah,
Like, there's literally no other reason but money behind
yeah,
that move.
yeah. NFL likes to pretend that they love money, which they do at times, but look at how they are seeing Electronic Arts with Madden. In that case, it's obvious that they hate fucking money in that case.
Well, okay, but that's like a tiny little. It's always been a tiny little percentage of their revenue.
That's
Their
true.
revenue comes from people tuning in to watch their games and
But
buying tickets into
but
their stadiums.
but between the failure of Madden and EA at this point, the goodwill for EA is just gone. There's none
Yeah,
there. And the NFL
definitely.
is losing goodwill with all the virtue signaling and all the annoying of their fan base outright. It's turning into a 1-2 punch at this point for the NFL. They're gonna be feeling it at some point if they're not already.
Yeah, they are already feeling the loss in viewership. We already know that from their
And
numbers.
and in loss of goodwill as a company because they pretend that they care about the Shield, which if you look at their actions of their shit that they're getting into, they really don't care about the integrity of the Shield.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't even be a noble cause, even if they did. The noble cause would have been to be carrying about the players first, like above all else, care about the players, their
And then,
livelihoods, their,
and then secondly, caring about not alienating their fan base.
yeah, and second of all, providing a good sport that people can watch and enjoy. That's like literally their two jobs.
And there
Provide
was,
an entertaining sport to watch and make sure none of the people who are involved in playing it have horrible things happen to them.
and I'll end the
Like that's
yeah,
their two goals
and
if
I'll
they cared.
and I'll finish up my part of the NFL thing here. Uh, topic with Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, was in a small, quick little interview with someone, was asked about how the monopoly of EA with Madden has been failing, basically in the manner of they've been losing money and fans. Does, is the NFL considering like other business partners for the NFL video game side of things and that type of thing? And Roger Goodell simply gave a blanket answer of, we're always considering our options, but we're very proud and happy with our business arrangement with EA. So you're proud and happy that your video game fan base for NFL are fucking pissed. You're you're happy, Commissioner. Okay.
Well, that would explain the lack of action on it.
Yeah. Which means that under Roger Goodell, nothing's going to change for Madden. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
And the Madden video games are just going to sell less and less and less, and no one's going to give a fuck. That's my prediction for it. But with all of that, that's all I got to say about the NFL and the hypocrisy there. Anything else to add before we get to? I guess we're going to the Nicki Minaj story next.
Sure, but yeah, before we do that,
Yeah.
I would just say that it's like they have to understand that it's not beyond saving at this point, but they have got to stop it. I mean, they can't go completely stupid like this.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, and
there we have.
they're not even appeasing the people that they pretend they are. I mean, think about it like this.
Yeah.
If you were a person who was, an activist, leftist or whatever, whether that be BLM type or whether that be just, your usual Twitter user, how would you be happy with what they are doing? Which is nothing but money moves and disconcern. The things that they think are popular and not actually meaning it. It's like the most disaffected activism I've ever seen. So it's like screwing themselves every which way they can.
Yep. So, with that being said, are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'll let you take the lead for the Nicki Minaj topic, because you got more info than I do.
Yeah, well, initially started with a tweet about...
As most things do nowadays.
A tweet from Nicki Minaj about one of her Caribbean relatives who suffered most likely an STD-related injury, but did so in light of having taken a COVID-19 vaccine, and she had stated that she was going to be cautious with herself in taking it, and that she needed to look into things a little more before she just jumped right in.
Which is what everybody should be doing.
And but what immediately happened was she got piled on.
Which is what Twitter does to everyone that uses common sense.
Yeah, and she was really only asking to be given the chance to look into things and not automatically take it as faith.
Yeah.
And that wasn't good enough.
Yeah. Well, it never is with clowns. So. Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
What I was gonna say is, then she tweeted out afterwards about not appreciating the lack of respect for her questioning, and then she made a whole series of rants and a series of angry tweets at them about not being able to at least ask questions. And even as we sit right now, she still hasn't bent to them, which is actually quite nice to see.
Yeah, for a change. A celebrity going against the stupid ass narrative. It's actually somewhat refreshing.
Really, the funny thing is like she never intended to even go against the narrative. She just wasn't trying to. She was basically trying to say, look, I ain't gonna jump in and take this shot just because all y'all think it's cool. She was basically doing what,
everyday people are thinking about with it. Like us.
Doing what somebody might do if they were seriously being careful or had any health issues or whatever.
Yeah.
But that wasn't good enough. Absolute faith and absolute allegiance and compliance is what these people, not just asking about anymore, they're demanding.
You can go ahead and say it. It's a cult.
Well, sure.
Because it feels like one from the outside looking in, just saying.
But they're no longer asking people to do the right thing. They're telling them, you will do what we tell you to, or else we will end you.
Yeah.
That's their attitude.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they're at.
Quite.
And and the giggle fest among the people who back in 2020 were all about black voices are now suddenly cool with like canceling her for asking questions.
Yeah.
It's really pathetic, the whole thing.
Black Lives Matter right up until they disagree with you.
Because literally her initial tweet would have been like, no big deal to anyone that was rational. Would have been like, okay, well that's nice.
But none of them are.
Like I cared what her opinion was about anything anyway. But apparently they do, and it was not okay for her to have that opinion.
Yeah, like I was saying, Black Lives Matter right up until that black life disagrees with you. Then it doesn't matter anymore.
Oh yeah, quite.
Sounds like a cult to me.
Well, it was a little game they've been playing.
Well, they're gonna have to lose at some point.
It's always the SJW game.
Yeah.
We've dealt with this with gaming journalists forever now.
Yeah.
For years.
Indeed.
They don't really care about the games. They care about the activism. If the game doesn't comply with the activism, then it's an enemy.
Yeah.
If it does, then it should be defended, even unto, the hurt of the gaming industry.
Which, coincidentally, that does remind me of one of a number of reasons why Breaking Rocks exists. It's because of games like The Last of Us Part 2. It's because of shit like Nicki Minaj using common sense for her health and her family and whatnot, and they get piled on for it. That's why Breaking Rocks is here, to talk about shit like this.
Exactly.
And also the other inspiration was Yelling at Park Cars by Comics Division, so.
Oh, yes. We love history.
Indeed. Keeping in mind that the original idea for the name for this was Yelling at Rocks. But you disagreed on doing that, so.
No, I didn't want it to be, there's no use copycatting anybody or anything like that.
That's true, even though the inspiration was that very thing. for this.
Yeah.
But either way. But speaking of copycats, Major League Baseball will be shutting down a company that makes equipment for Major League Baseball for their games and whatnot. That's based out of right here in southeast Minnesota, where I currently live here, but not specifically the town I'm in, but the general area.
The region, yeah.
Yeah. And moving those jobs to China so that Major League Baseball can have what they always wanted. Kids in sweatshops making their bats.
Yeah, isn't that lovely?
Yeah. So suffice to say, I had thought about it since the story broke like yesterday, or this morning, or whenever the hell I first saw it. I'm not interested in playing MLB The Show going forward. I'm not interested in watching any baseball games going forward at this point in time. And that's just the way it is. So you could call it a boycott if you want, but I'm just calling it, I just have no interest in baseball at this point because of all this bullshit. Because if you're willing to sacrifice, now I don't have any great love for Minnesota anymore because of the fucking governor of the state. But I do have love and passion still for the people of Minnesota who are affected by this move by Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Hence why my stance is, like I said, I'm never going to actively call it I'm boycotting Major League Baseball. No. I just have no interest in participating in watching games, going to games, and buying the video game at this point. You can take that for what it's worth. You guys can call it whatever you want. It's supposed to be a free country.
Well, what it is, bro, is probably just self-respect at this point, considering you still live there.
Yeah.
And you should care about what happens
in the community,
to those that do live there like yourself.
Well, for me, for the next year at least.
Yeah. But again,
once I'm out of here, I'll probably still care about the people here, but the goings on, I won't give a shit about it. At that point, I'll be in fucking Arizona by then. By the end of next September, hopefully.
But yeah, this is one of a long string of moves by the MLB to be exactly the way, like say, Disney is.
Yeah, Disney is the biggest example of all of this.
Yeah, the attempt to...
and that's another thing. NFL is effectively like Disney when it comes to Madden at this point. They're effectively treating Madden much like Disney was Star Wars.
Yeah.
Madden is the Star Wars of the NFL at this point. For lack of a better comparison.
The simple fact is, for a while now, the MLB has done its best to display its activism because apparently that's what they thought was the most popular thing to do.
Well, let's just look at the ratings of the NFL and you'll see that that's fucking wrong.
Yeah, the NFL was never about that stuff until recently, and the MLB, since that's what we were mentioning, is the fan base is a little more variable than the NFL fan base.
Yeah.
The NFL fan base has always been traditionally men, majorly for sure. And they've done a lot to the NFL, that is, to actually shit on the fan base. Like, to their faces, tell them you suck, we hate you, you need to change.
Yeah.
And it's some of that is what's biting them in the ass. But the other part that's biting them in the ass is that the league itself the interest in games, the ticket sales, COVID, all sorts of things have really cut them off at the neck
Yeah.
in terms of long-term stability as a company.
Yeah.
And they're just flailing for any possible gap fill they could possibly get now. Now that they've, gone and screwed the pooch thoroughly on the social aspect.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's going to be like, I love the NFL in mixed company. People are going to be like, well, why? It's going to just sound like you're an activist right off the bat. And activists are the most uncomfortable people to be around in mixed company, and everyone knows that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the MLB is another. They really just, I don't know what they're thinking at this point.
Yeah. Long story short,
Other than making money, which is the same motive that the NFL continues to do, MLB and NFL continue to do everything they can to try and do what they think is money moves on one end and socially acceptable moves on the other. But all of it is woke, and all of it is driven away more fans than it's attracted.
yeah.
Because those people that are into that type of thing don't watch MLB and the NFL. They don't care about sports. They never did.
Yeah. The ones that care about sports are not interested in watching now because when you're going to get preached to instead of being allowed to actually watch what you've loved all of your life, it ain't worth it anymore.
Yeah, I definitely, tune into NFL games to hear that I'm a horrible racist person or a horrible bigot of some kind. Yeah, that's what I tune in for. Makes me feel so good.
So, with that being said, let's try to end on a high note this episode. Because, other than maybe you could consider the Nicki Minaj story being kind of positive, right?
Well, it's definitely not negative on her, if you ask me.
Yeah, so there was we started negative, went positive, negative. Let's go back to positive again to end this thing.
Yeah.
And talking about songs from Tom MacDonald's two new albums, No Guts, No Glory, and Us Against the World. So from No Guts, No Glory, the songs that, well, first I'm gonna go over the songs that have music videos. So there's Don't Look Down, which I reacted to. There's Clone World, which I believe I did a reaction to. Cancelled. Angels, which is actually my favorite from the album, which I recently tweeted out and I shared on Facebook as well. There's Brainwashed and Withdraws. Those are the ones that have music videos. But of all of them, I think my favorites from No Guts, No Glory is probably We Want War, Hypocrites, and Angels. Anything to add before I get to Us Against the World?
No, I don't have anything to add to that.
All right. So Us Against the World, the title song, Us Against the World, America, which is obviously Tom's critique on the state of our country at this point, obviously. And the final track called Heroes, which is basically him just talking about everyday people just doing their job and living their lives. Those are the real heels, the real heroes of America, along with the soldiers and the police officers and the paramedics and the doctors. Is basically what he talks about in Heroes. So, yeah. So, Us Against the World, America, and Heroes are my three favorite songs from that. Otherwise, the songs that have music videos from Us Against the World album are No Lives Matter, Fake Woke, Best Rapper Ever, Dear Slim, Dummies, Snowflakes, and yeah, that's it. So there's a lot of great music here from Tom MacDonald with the 2 albums. So if you guys haven't bought No Guts, No Glory mixtape or Us Against the World from hangovergang.com, go do it. I believe they're $15 a piece. But I paid $50 for both of them for signed ones. So, and it was was definitely worth it in the end because they're both signed by Tom himself. So,
yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm very happy with all of this. So thank you, Tom MacDonald, Hangover Gang, forever. I almost said for life at first. That's a whole nother thing.
Well, hard to be hungover when you're dead, you know.
Don't start with that.
Except for literally.
Speaking of dying, if you will, because of the imagery in the music video itself by Dax, now we're finally going to get to the subtitle of this episode of Breaking Rocks for you guys. Reacting to Dax Dear God official music video from his YouTube channel. So let's see let's hear from Dax. Hopefully there's no ad. Do you believe in God? Yeah, I do. And I'm going to put the mic near the speaker for you.
Yeah. Sometimes it gets hard. Dear God, there's a lot of questions that I have about the past, and I don't want to hear it from a human. You made it, so you're the last person that I'm ever gonna ask. Tell me what's real, tell me what's fake. Why is everything about you a debate? What's the point of love? Every time I showed it, I was broken, and it's forced me just to only want to hate. Why is it only one you but multiple religions? Why does every conversation end in a division? Why does everybody want to tell us how to live, but they won't listen to the same damn message that they get? Tell me how to feel, tell me what's wrong. I tried to call, pick up the phone, pick up on my own. Everybody said you coming back to man. Why the hell is it taking so long? Why do I hurt? Why is there pain? Why does everything good always have to change? Why does everybody try to profit off another man's work and destroy it just for monetary gain? Tell me, are you black or are you white? I don't even really care. I just really want to know what's right. Couldn't say one thing, but I was looking in the book, and it seems like they've been lying for my whole damn life. Tell me where I'm going. Is it heaven or hell? I just hope this message greets you well. Had a dream that I was walking with the devil. Don't remember how it feels, but I swear that I remember the smell. Looked me right into my eye and told me everything I wanted could be mine if I gave up and decided to sell. But I said I'd rather die than get mine. Now I'm here. No fear, one man with a story to tell. Dear God, where were you when I needed it? When I fucked up and repeated it. When they set the bar and I exceeded it. My life is like a book that they've been judging by a cover, but I've never took the time to fucking read the shit. I remember telling you my goals and my dreams, but you didn't even answer, so I guess you didn't believe in it. I remember sitting with a gun to my head trying to ask you for some help. I guess you didn't believe it. I don't want religion, I need that spirituality. I don't want a church, I need people to call a family. I don't want to tell my sins to another sinner just because he's got a wrong when you went to some academy. I don't want to read it in the book, I want to hear it from you. Don't want to learn it in my school because they hide the truth. Don't want to talk about it to another fucking human being, and that's the only reason that I even slept this. Dear God, how do I take this darkness and turn it into light? How do I believe in a concept where I speak to a man I've never seen with my own two eyes? How do I know that religion wasn't made just to separate the world and creator with the sky just to keep us in these chains while the rich get richer and the poor pray to you and perpetuate a lie? How do I know this ain't some big joke? How do I have faith when there is no hope? How the hell does one man have $100 billion and we still have people on the street that are broke? There's a lot of things I want to talk about and get off my chest. I can't sleep because the devil won't let me rest. I used to know a fucking pastor in a church and I can still hear the screams of the kids even fucking molest. Dear God, do you hear me? I'm supposed to fear you, but you ain't said shit. So maybe it's you who actually fears me. I don't know the answer, I just want to see it clearly. So many lies and 1,000 different theories. All I want to know is who really made religion, because I know it wasn't you, but don't nobody believe me. No more lies, no more death. Bring back King, bring back X. Please, dear God, let their souls rest. Your tattoos left and wash their steps.
That, ladies and gentlemen, was Dear God by Dax. Nord?
Yep. It was
Any thoughts?
yeah, he kind of expressed a lot of what a lot of people feel, you know.
Yeah, like me. At
Frustration
least
is the
lately.
key there.
Yeah.
Obviously, the song portrays a lot of emotions that lead people. Which is in the song, he's also fighting the emotions of,
Yeah.
emotions that lead a person to disbelief.
But he also does say that in the song that the devil asked him to sell his soul, but he, as he said, as I feel the same way, I'd rather die. But how I interpret that as in SJW is asking you to sell your soul to their message, I'd rather die than sell my soul to you
As
fucks.
well, the basic concept of gaining the whole world and losing your soul is definitely prevalent.
Which is a line from Toby Mac's
it
music.
didn't originate with him, but it's in the Bible.
Well, he was the first place I heard it from, so.
Well, the first place I heard it from was the Bible. But secondly, his question in the song about the origins of faith, the origins of religion, what's the purpose, all of that.
Of organized religion.
The purpose of organized religion was always control.
Yeah.
There's always going to be control.
But true faith, that's still another question that we're still trying to figure out to this day, I think.
Yeah, well, the thing is that this is a human nature thing.
Yeah.
Men seek religion, even if they don't have one that's of spiritual variety. They'll create one of other variety to fill the hole.
Yeah.
Regardless of what even the most atheistic scientists like to try and pretend, everyone has a religion. Everyone has things they believe.
Yeah.
As opposed to what they can prove. No man lives by only what he can prove, and to say that a person does is a lie.
Yeah.
So, in terms of faith, varieties of faith, and the struggle, it's a really good song.
Yeah. And it's now getting added to the Drew Dad Entertainment playlist of music on Spotify, considering that now there's a reaction of sorts to it on the channel once this gets uploaded for you guys. Because otherwise this song is in my personal playlist on Spotify already. Because a co-worker pointed out Dax to me, and actually this was one of the first songs of Dax that I heard from her Spotify account. I'm like, who is this? And she went, that's Dax. How do you spell that? D-A-X. I'm going to go looking into this guy's music now. So.
Yeah.
And that's how I found Dax by, by word of mouth at work, so.
Yeah.
Kind of like how she found Tom McDonald through me, so. This is how information is supposed to be shared, person to person.
Yeah.
America.
The fact that it is person to person style, it goes to show you how useless the mass media is.
Mass media, social media, of sorts.
Well, social media has become part of mass media. Mass media just means anything that most people will see in a given day.
No,
when something is a headline.
Now, you can make a case that mainstream media is still involved because we're listening to this stuff on Spotify. In some cases, as opposed to like with me with Tom McDonald stuff, it's with physical media, which was actually one of Tom's selling points to his 2 albums when he was doing his promo stuff on YouTube for it. He was going over basically how, like, the major tech companies aren't helping in any way, shape, or form to get his music out there. In fact, in some ways, they're trying to hinder it for the digital distribution of his music, which is why he'd rather make physical albums and send them out to people, because then there's nothing getting in the way. It's at that point on a personal level. He's making the stuff and sending it to his fans directly. Just like these two things right here, guys.
It's almost like artisan.
Yeah.
It's like artisan music and artisan music production.
Yeah.
It's sort of a sweeter concept, isn't it? I mean, it almost like, grandma's bread, except for this is Tom McDonald's music.
Except for this is Uncle Tom's music.
Uncle Tom, yeah, okay.
Except for this is not the uncle that gets drunk and spews racist bullshit. This is the uncle who's sober, who is telling you the truth the whole time.
Yeah.
Who's being brutally honest with you.
Considering Tom is actually one of our peers at our age.
Well,
one of our peers.
To Gen Z, Uncle Tom. To you and me, Brother Tom.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Except for I'm probably more like older brother because I'm a little older than him, but he's from your generation because he is a millennial, so.
Uh-huh.
And I'm the last of X, so.
I don't call anybody who's millennial uncle anything. Just saying.
Brother Tom.
Yeah.
From the Church of the Truth. Or from the Church of Reality. I like that better.
Yeah, there's a reality shot. But,
dare I call him Pastor Tom?
What Tom does, though, is Tom says what everyone is feeling.
Yeah.
In rap form.
Just like Reverend Dax. Right, bro?
Sure, yeah.
If I can call Dax Reverend or Pastor. It's kind of easy to, given the music video of Dear God, in which he's carrying a cross in it.
Yeah.
It's easy to call him a pastor after watching that. So with all of that being said, there is nothing else to talk about. I got nothing. You got anything else? Or should we get out of here?
I don't have anything else. It wasn't a lot this week. Just a few things.
Only thing left to do is to plug things then, at this point. So,
sure.
You got anything you're working on?
No.
Usually not.
At the moment.
Yeah. Tomorrow after work, I will be live playing Kenneth Bridge of Spirits directly on the YouTube channel of Drew Dat Games, because that comes out at 11 p.m. tonight, but I have to work in the morning, so after work, I will be live, or I will start the live stream anywhere from 11 p.m. to 1 in the afternoon is when I'll start it. So anywhere within that 2-hour period, depending on the energy level I got after work, and how long I plan to be live for, which probably won't be more than 2 hours anyway, at that point.
Yep.
However, with Wednesday, there's no gaming news that I'm aware of at this point, so unless anything, major things break between now and Wednesday, I don't see doing a gaming podcast this Wednesday at this point. Because there's really no, news or anything going on right now.
Yeah, I definitely haven't heard much of anything in the gaming realm.
Yeah, so we're probably going to skip a week for that, which means I'll probably only just do a Twitch stream or a YouTube stream. Probably YouTube stream of just playing Kenneth Bridge of Spirits some more on Wednesday, too. More than likely. Otherwise, I might do another reaction to Tom McDonald in the next couple of days, because like I said, I do want to do Angels at some point, because that's one of my favorite songs from him. So Otherwise, that's the only thing I'm working on right now. I'm going to continue playing through Halo Master Chief Collection on Twitch, on and off until Halo Infinite comes out. And then continue trying to play through the Fable thing. This most recent episode might be entertaining for you because of what it's called, bro.
Yeah.
Let me bring it up on here to tell you that. Yeah, let's switch to the other account to make it go faster here. It is called Drew Plays Fable Episode 3. My memory isn't what it used to be. And the description reads, bad memory, not enough gold, and blue mushrooms. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
Because basically what happened in this episode of me playing Fable on Twitch today was I was trying to do like the Twin Blade quest. I didn't have enough gold to buy the pass. I was having trouble with that stupid memory game the guy has you do to try to win the pass. So I went, fuck it, I'm not going to do this right now. Then I started wandering around for about 30 minutes in the game trying to figure out, alright, so what am I going to do then? And then I decided I'm going to try to do this extra quest that wasn't in the base game of trying to save this girl by finding the mushrooms, like some of the blue mushrooms that she ate that made her sick, and then a witch is supposed to brew a potion to help her, but you need 4 blue mushrooms. But you need a fishing pole, a shovel, and all this other shit to find them throughout the world. So that's where I'm at. I left off trying to find all the blue mushrooms. So I found 2, because the second one, someone at the picnic area ate it, and you had to make her laugh to get her to throw it up, I guess, or shit it out at that point. So you had to make her laugh to get it out of her body so you could take it.
Yeah,
and that was the second one. The first one was it was some like pothead or whatever dropped it in the water next to the demon door at the Heroes Guild. So you need.
Yeah, they added some funny stuff.
Yeah, so you needed a fishing rod to go fishing for mushrooms.
Yeah.
So you had to go take care of the guy at the fishing thing, get the fishing pole, then go fish for mushrooms, then go make the girl laugh to shit her pants to get a mushroom from her, I guess is what happened.
This is such a yikes thing.
And then the next mushroom is involving taking a letter to a guy who is in the Heroes Guild forest who had been eating mushrooms at a party, who fell in love with a girl from Oakvale, but because they were high on mushrooms, he doesn't know if she was beautiful or ugly, but you're supposed to take a love letter to her. And that's where I'm currently at with trying to find the third mushroom.
Interesting.
And then the fourth one is supposed to be like at Burrow Field or something like that. And we'll see what happens with that one.
Yeah.
For all I know, I might have to marry somebody for it at this rate.
Yeah, games funny like that.
Yeah, but that's generally how that's going. And how episode 4 of playing Fable might go. Because that's what I'm working on with it.
Yeah.
So that's what I got going on right now, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Breaking Rocks. we got into far more than we were expecting.
Yeah.
Especially at the end here. But while you're here, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and like I said at the top, if you're a gamer, go follow Drew Games over here on YouTube as well. And if you want to catch me playing Xbox games live before I port them over to YouTube and chat with me there over on Twitch, the channel is Drewdat Games, DREWDATGAMESS, all one word and all in lowercase. And you'll know it's me because it's the same logo as the gaming channel on YouTube, as well as the same logo as my Twitter account as dat_Drew, which the official name is Drewdat Games. But the logo background is the same as this channel, featuring Tom McDonald, Pikachu, Keanu Reeves, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. So you know that channel actually represents, or sorry, my Twitter account represents both YouTube channels and my Twitch channel effectively, all rolled into one. So with that being said, everyone, thank you for checking this out. And if you're going to comment, click in bait again because of the title. Thank you for doing so. I do enjoy that. Later, guys.
See ya.
Sorry about that.